Hi, PW families, and welcome to our June caregiver training. This month, we're taking a break from the very ABA specific topics and talking more about summertime because summer is right around the corner. School's about to be out for the summer, and I figured now would be a good time to just go over what our community has to offer kids in the summer and now that your kids aren't in school and they're going to be home a lot more, how you can structure your days and just kind of talk about some supports that you can put in place to help make those long summer days successful. So school's out for the summer. For some parents, I think that's really fun and exciting. They think of camping and trips, and then for other families, I think that it's scary and intimidating because they now don't have their kid out of the house for 6 hours a day, 5 days a week. Although COVID's been a little bit different this year, so maybe that's not the case for you. So school's out for the summer. I want to talk about activities in the community. I want to talk about resources, whether that's childcare, respite care, things that are accessible to you guys if you need help while you're working. And then talking about structuring your child's day. Oftentimes the summer means a lot of free time, and for some kids that's great. For other kids that can be overwhelming. So I want to talk about options for that as well, and then talk about maintenance, how to maintain the skills that your child has acquired over the school year. So activities in the community. A really good place to look for just general Bellingham, Whatcom County community events is the Bellingham Community Events Calendar. Right now, some fun things that I saw, that's the link to it. You can just copy and paste that in your browser right below. But there were some really cool events that I saw for some things for kids on there already. There's Food Truck Fridays at Star Park in Ferndale. So it looks like there's just a bunch of food trucks that park in the parking lot, and you guys can get maybe some dinner or an afternoon snack at a food truck and play at the Star Park. Get some socialization practice in. The Spark Museum has a kids' night during the summer, and they do some really cool events, honestly, all year long for kiddos, and it's a good science museum to go and explore, and it's hands-on, so that's fun. And there also were kids' art walks that I saw in downtown Bellingham, which sounded pretty fun. I know a lot of our kiddos love to do art here, so they might be really interested in that. Check out Max Higbee's calendar for virtual events. As of right now, it looked like everything that Max Higbee was doing was still virtually, but that could be fun for some of our kiddos. But they have a ton of virtual events that they put on that could be fun activities to do over the summer from home. Adaptive Life Coaches, they are doing a summer camp this summer, which is super exciting. April is the owner and director there, and she is a licensed respite care provider and life coach, and she's just incredible with this population of kids. And she puts on a summer camp full of fun activities and social events. And if you're interested, I highly encourage you to email April right away. I put her email down there, and go to her website to look at their summer camp registration, because registration ends on Sunday this weekend. So if you are interested in this, you need to get on it right away. And in general, April has Adaptive Life Coaches, which is just a respite care provider, and she does cool things like social groups and one-on-one time, and takes them out to do fun things in the outdoor community, like hikes and walks and paddleboarding. So if that's something you think your kid would like year-round with some respite care, email her as well. She might have some spots available. Check out the ARCS activity calendar. I saw them advertising for in June movie nights at the Regal Cinemas in Berkeley, and that I think would be a great social opportunity or event for kids to practice going on public outings with, and they might be adding more as the summer goes on too, so check that frequently. Resources. If you are interested in academic support, if your kid has a hard time maintaining the knowledge that they've learned throughout the school year over the summer, and starting back up in the fall is always difficult, there are some local spots to help with tutoring. There's the Hawthorne Learning Center, which is in Bellingham, and they do all types of tutoring. There's Sylvan, which is a nationwide company that specializes in tutoring. And then Western has WW Reading Tutors through their Teachers College. And I linked the Reading Tutors link below, which could be a really good option if you're worried about your kid regressing in reading. Also, always reach out to your kids' teachers too if that's something that you're concerned about. They will probably have, maybe packets to send home for you, or they might have more information on academic support throughout the summer. Resources continued. Respite care and / summer camps. This is for if you are working full-time over the summer and you need some help with some childcare, or you need somewhere to take your kid, even just for a mental break. There's FACES, which is a camp for kids with developmental disabilities, and I've linked their website below. There's Fir Creek Day Camp. That's kind of by Geneva, by Lake Whatcom area, and they have a day camp. And then I linked the respite care, the DSHS, the Washington State Respite Care link, to point you in the right direction to find somebody who is a licensed respite care provider. So structuring the day. Summer days can feel very, very long when you're just with your kids all day. So whether your child's summer days are planned to be jam-packed with fun activities, or you want to maintain progress with academics or social goals, structure is key. I highly recommend creating some sort of schedule for your day during the summers, even if it's scheduling fun stuff, just to keep the activities moving, prevent boredom, and keep them engaged. Visual calendars can be helpful, especially if you're planning camping trips or little vacations, or if they're going to be spending time at grandma's during the day. Visual calendars can be helpful for them to adjust and prepare for this change in routine. Structuring free time. So an example of this is first we're going to swim, and then at 3 o'clock we're going to do chalk, and then at 4 we're going to go ride a bike. So none of that is, non-preferred probably tasks, or it's all fun stuff. But if you have a large block of free time during the summer, I recommend breaking them up into smaller fun stuff to help create some transitions and some practice maintaining, tolerating transitions away from activities, and to just help keep them preoccupied and engaged and learning through play. I also encourage you, if you are going to plan play dates, to know your child's play limits and plan the durations accordingly. So how long can they sustain independent play? If you're structuring free time and you know that your kiddo has about 10 minutes of independent play in them before they start to, get bored of it, get curious, maybe engage in proper destruction, let's limit it to that 10 minutes, and then you can slowly work on building it up. But I would structure their free time and their independent play to what you know that they're capable of doing so appropriately, and then have them transition to something else. How long can they sustain cooperative peer or sibling play? With peer play, their tolerance with peer play may be way higher than it is with independent play, because they're really attention seeking and motivated by others' attentions, or it could be way less than their tolerance with independent play is, because maybe they have to share, or they have to be flexible with how they're playing. So know how long that they can sustain cooperative, appropriate peer or sibling play as well, and set a time limit that is achievable and maintainable for them, and then transition them to something else. So if you know that your kid only has about 30 minutes to an hour of tolerating being with other peers and playing appropriately with their sibling, then structure that play date or that sibling play time to only being that amount, and then transition them to something else. Set them up for success. And again, like, as you're noticing them continuing to show progress with their independent play skills or with their peer play skills, you can slowly increase this time over the summer, but start with a time interval that you know that they can be successful with. New activities or routines. Does summer for your child mean there will be new activities or routines? I often think of camping, road trips, visiting family. Those kinds of things often occur during the summer months when school's out. And so these types of changes can be difficult for kids on the spectrum and can create some anxiety. So I highly recommend, if you have any trips coming up or any new routines that are about to start, collaborate with your BCBA and have them develop a social story with you to help them prepare for that trip, that event, or that new routine, so that they can read about it, start to ask questions about it if they have it, and just start to prepare for that change. Visual calendars, like I mentioned earlier, can also be helpful in mentally preparing for a trip or a new activity. And then, if applicable, practice at home. I know that this can't be done for everything, but if they're going to start swim lessons, maybe get a kiddie pool in the backyard and start practicing like being okay with water and baby steps there. Or if you're planning a big long camping trip and your kid hasn't been camping before, or camping kind of makes them nervous, maybe start practicing camping out in the backyard so they're still close to home and a place that feels safe. I think, if you can ever practice any kind of skill before they go do something new, I think that is always a great option, and you should definitely do that. When you're out in the community, bring reinforcers with you. If you're going to go on a play date, if you're going to swim lessons, if you're doing anything that's new to them that might cause them to feel anxious, bring something with you that's motivating, that's encouraging, that's going to help them feel like they're doing a great job. Small little candies like Skittles or something like that is always a good thing to have in your purse. A tally counter app for points or token economies. There's a lot of apps that you can get on your phone, and you can, if they're like on a sticker chart or a stars token economy or something, you can tally immediately how many points or stickers they're earning on that app on your phone. Then when you get home, they can put them on their token economy or their sticker chart. So that's a nice way to make that mobile, if that's a reinforcement system you guys already have in place. Preferred apps or videos on the phone. We all usually always have our phones on us, so this is a good way to always have a reinforcer on hand. First, let's try swim lessons for 3 minutes, and then we can watch a video, or then we can play the game on my phone. That's always a good option. Music. We all usually have music accessible on our phones, or you can, give them headphones, depending on what they're doing. But music sometimes for our kiddos is an easy reinforcer that's fairly transportable. And then bubbles. A lot of our littler kids love bubbles, and you can get cheap, small little bubbles at the dollar store or at Target, and just bring them with you in your purse, and you always have a reinforcer on hand. But I think being prepared, especially when our kiddos are going to be in new environments or are experiencing something that might cause them a little bit of anxiety, is always good to have a reinforcer on hand with you so you can encourage them. Maintenance. So summer, I've already had some families reach out to me about how to maintain skills. And I think this is an important conversation to have. If school is where your kid gets the majority of their social skills practice and their academic content, the fact that they're not going to have that for almost 3 months, there is definitely a risk of regression, especially with kids on the spectrum. We know that maintaining things long term can be challenging. So if you are concerned about your child regressing with current academic or social skills progress, please reach out to your child's BCBA. They would be happy to come up with a game plan for you on how to problem solve and maintain these things over the summer, whether that be at the clinic with us or in home. We're happy to help. We are also happy to collaborate with your child's school to see where your child's progress is at the end of the school year. and how we can help maintain that over the summer for a smooth start to next year, whether that's through an IEP meeting or just a separate little team meeting or check-in with the teacher to see what awesome progress they've made and what would be helpful for us to maintain with them over the summer during their ABA sessions. That is definitely something that we are willing and happy to do. And then also don't hesitate to reach out to your child's teacher to see if they can send you any resources or materials to work on over the summer as well. Academically, that they know them best. So teachers are an awesome resource for that.